ranting and raving over a bunch of nonsense. But what we're going to do today is we're going to open up with a little bit of ego stroking, all right? We're going to do a little bit of ego stroking to start the stream off today because I had a good tweet. It's not a good tweet, but it's a tweet that I feel like resonated with way too many people, okay? That's the problem. Is I'm going to mute this because, you know, the vibes are great and all, but I'm about to get real fucking serious, okay? So, what we've got here, and this is the official start to the stream because, you know, you do what you got to do. Let's do it. Let's do it, folks. Let's see what's going on. Ready? This is the tweet. When did I tweet this out? The 19th, and today is the 23rd. So the 19th, as far as I understand it, this says the 20th, so I might have been a day off, but you know, probably not. It seems I was in the wheelhouse. I was pretty close. I tweeted out a picture from my journal in the 3rd grade. I went to elementary school in New York City, public schools, very good schools. You know, I for what they got to do there, for what they have to manage and what they have to deal with on a regular basis. You know, I loved going to school in New York. I did. And I feel like I feel like it informed me as a person pretty well. But they didn't do anything to help me with this. The illegal occupation of Iraq turned 18 today. This was a couple of days ago. I was in the 3rd grade and fully propagandized. I knew all the right talking points, and I'm genuinely disgusted when I read this today. We need to be in the streets to end these wars. So what we'll do is we'll read my beautiful handwriting. We'll read my beautiful spelling, which still has not gotten any better. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Still would misspell, I'd say 90% of the words I misspelt in this journal entry, okay? But what are you going to do? Operation Iraqi Freedom is all about freedom in Iraq. It's called branding. The main enemy is Saddam Hussein. He has nuclear and biological missiles. He can blow a whole continent up if he wanted to! Exclamation point. In Desert Storm, he wanted all the oil in Kuwait. Now, there isn't a sentence. There isn't a fucking word in this journal entry that I did. Also, take note, St. Paddy's Day, baby. I did a real nice, I hate drawing, but back then I really didn't mind it too much. Look at how great that shit is. It looks stellar. You know, the vibes from here to here, all positive vibes for me, apparently. It didn't matter. We're doing the right thing no matter what. Excuse me. All right. This is something I wrote when I was 8 years old. It's an insane thing to think that an 8-year-old even cared about this type of shit. Let it be known, I was quite the history buff in school. It was always my favorite class aside from English. Only 2 classes I ever scored above a 90 in, ever. You know, it was just something that I took to instantly. Probably started with my love of World War II video games back in the day, Medal of Honor, you know, that type of thing. I was very into those. And in turn, I wanted to learn more about, you know, the real world events at the time. You know, I was watching a lot of History Channel, Discovery Channel. You know how those used to be back in the day, a little less fringe crazy than they seem to be nowadays. Maybe that was just nostalgia talking. I don't really know. But this is something I fucking put to paper and like really truly believed at the time. And it's straight up talking points. Like it's straight up talking points from the US government, the intelligence agencies, who we now know were completely fucking lying to us the whole time. It was a fucking sham. They invaded Iraq on false pretense. And we were fucking around in Iraq and in Desert Storm on false pretense. And we've been in the region, the entire region, on false pretense, okay? It is an absolutely insane thing that, you know, at age 8, I was able to recite these talking points. It goes to show how effective and how well crafted these arguments and these types of things go into being made and crafted by the intelligence agencies to be regurgitated by people like me who don't know any better. And I'm sure that there are some people out there who were lucky enough to have a bunch of leftist parents or anti-war parents, however you want to put it, however they were, who taught you right from wrong when you were younger, and you were able to understand Bush was the bad guy. Now, you probably, like, again, I didn't understand what I was saying. A lot of kids, they don't understand this shit. They know what their parents taught them. And what I know is this. This is what I knew. This is what my parents took at face value. This is what millions and millions and millions of people took at face value to teach their kids. And I don't hold that against anybody, because you know what? Who had time? You know, it wasn't easy. And there are a lot of people who work for a living all day, 40 hours a week, maybe more. And who's got time to fucking read up on all of this? Not a lot of people, especially when they're overworked and they couldn't give a fuck less about what's going on in Iraq, because we shouldn't be there. That is not where their tax money should be going, right? But here you go. So this was my take then. And my take now has obviously, it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. Neocon till I die, baby. But we'll read some of the replies, because I think that they're kind of enlightening too. We have Philly Takes here. Shout out Philly Takes. Also, right now, this is Philly Takes. We're doing Philly Takes right now. Jesus, they straight up indoctrinated third graders. Totally normal country. Now, it's not like the CIA came to my house and told me all of this. This was completely regurgitated by the news media that my family had on in the house all the time, especially around this time when things were really popping off. They were the ones repeating these lines. They're the reason why I knew any of this, you know? And they repeated them uncritically. They repeated them without even questioning the narrative, which is always the problem. And it's still the problem. It's never changed. We're in Afghanistan for as long as, you know, my youngest sisters are alive. They're in their, you know, they're old enough to drink now. There are kids who are taking over their father's patrol routes in Afghanistan. World War II lasted less than 10 years. Like, what is going on? How can we convince ourselves that this is completely acceptable? This is okay. This is how it is. This is how it has to be in order for there to be stability in the region? Us being there for 20 years has created zero stability in the region. I would like to know when this is going to come. Probably when we fucking leave. Okay? My buddy Matt commented, don't be too hard on young Brandon. That leprechaun and his pot of gold looks spot on. It's true. They really, really did. It does. It's great. It's pretty dope. It's finally old enough to be disenfranchised. I think that he meant the war itself. Talk about indoctrination. They don't teach real history in schools. At least you saw the light. True. Wow, I didn't know they target so young. Again, it's not like the CIA came to my house. These are lies that are told to us by the news, where we're supposed to just accept that this is what's going on in the world. We're supposed to be okay with the way that they report the news. We're not supposed to question the news, or else we're labeled as some sort of fucking lunatic. Meanwhile, they're lying us into what happened to be the biggest fucking atrocity of my lifetime and the biggest waste of your fucking money that you have ever seen, dude. Disgusting. Holy shit, I thought I was the only hardcore neocon in elementary school. This feels vindicating. Here, I said it can be unlearned. Here I am, calling it out for what it is. And I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed for having this take as a third grader. I don't care. I don't care what my take was in the fucking third grade. I care about what you can unlearn. I care about what is right. And bombing a bunch of fucking people who have nothing to do with anything that, at all. They've done nothing wrong. They've done nothing fucking wrong. There isn't a single Iraqi civilian who's done anything to this country deemed worthy of fucking bombing them. With it. It's just not a thing. And if you're going to come at me with some bullshit about how they killed American troops, we shouldn't have been there in the fucking first place. We shouldn't have been there in the first place at all. This is a wild time capsule, and I said it's crazy how I never got any better at spelling. This seemed to be a hit. It wasn't a joke. Sorry, it's not a joke. I literally can't spell. That's why when I try to type stuff up on here, I always just screen up to me because I do not want you to watch me ever try to Google search anything. It's fucking embarrassing. I like that there's a rainbow behind it. Me too. Good vibes. Damn. Good thing my dad taught me the invasion was wrong at that age. Got my teacher, Republican, mad at me. And let me tell you something. This kind of irked me off. Like, good thing my dad taught me, like, good. Yeah, good for you, dude. Good for you. Honestly, good for your dad for being right. But I don't fucking give a shit, dude. This was not about you getting your fucking... Shut up. No offense. We were in the streets by millions around the world to try and prevent it. Not that it stopped it. Yeah, well, you're right. That is true. That is true. Unfortunate. And you know, a bunch of nonsense. Bunch of nonsense. But let's be real here. Let's be real here. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. War is a fucking racket. It's a lie. None of it. Any war in your lifetime, if you're alive and you're my age, was bullshit. Even Vietnam, starting at Vietnam, it's bullshit. It was a false flag. It wasn't real. We invaded there for reasons we lied about. Okay? You can look it up. Gulf of Tonkin. If you don't believe me, look it up. It's on fucking Wikipedia. You can read it there. I doubt it's in any textbook you're going to read, unfortunately, even though it should be. But false flag, baby. That's how it fucking went down. And you know what's funny about all this? You know what's really funny about all? You know what really? Like, not to take it out on that person who tweeted at me or whatever and said that, you know, their dad was right. But here's the best of the best at the time, right? Like, here's the best guy doing news coverage on this stuff, on any lefty stuff in the mainstream media from the early 2000s on. You know, I would say. Many people would say he did the news better than the news. We have Jon Stewart commenting on the Iraq War right here in this clip that I'm about to show you. And I will tell you something, folks. Actually, let's watch the clip. Let's watch the clip and see what the homie has to say.
Why has the peace movement failed to catch fire? Well, let's listen to a random sampling from both camps. First, let's hear a typical voice supporting the president.
I would definitely think that not so much that George Bush has to get the nation ready for war against Iraq, but the people have seen that this is an inevitability and that it's an unfortunate inevitability.
Fair, a reasoned argument. But I'm sure that the Doves have an equally cogent response.
You know, I think that's a bunch of shuck and jive because they've got no domestic program. They're doing absolutely nothing to solve any of the problems we have here in the country.
All right, maybe the Hawks have better arguments, but let me ask you this. Which side has the better pot? Well, why?
That pisses me off more than literally anything else. We hold this guy on a fucking pedestal for no reason. No fucking reason. Maybe push back later. I don't fucking care. What's more important is that you're pushing back when it goes down. When it goes down. Not 10 years after. Not as the CIA are pushing these talking points into my fucking skull. I needed this guy. Not that I was going to be watching because, again, third grade. But I'm sure that there are millions of people like me at age 16, 18, whatever, who are thinking the same shit. And then they turn this guy on at night to try to get a better opinion. And that's what he gives them. Oh, yeah, I just meant it to be funny. I just meant it to be fun. Stop your fucking show for 5 minutes and say, look, this is bullshit. You want to have a fucking mic drop moment? You want to have a fucking moment where people remember you by? How about instead of throwing a stupid fucking centrist rally with your dumbass co-host or whatever fucking Colbert ended up being disgusting, you use your fucking platform to do something about it. Oh, wait. You're on television? Oh, wait. You work for one of the 6 major media corporations. The Hawks have better ideas. The War Hawks are smarter. The people who don't want people to get fucking bombed indiscriminately in a country that has never harmed us in any way, they're just a bunch of pot-smoking fucking losers, man. They're never going to get it right. That guy said that we're not sure. The guy that he was making fun of had a fucking very good point. He had a great point. I agree with everything he says. We aren't doing anything, and nothing has changed. We are still not doing anything to fix our problems at home. We're barely investing in anything. We're barely investing in anything other than the highest possible tax bracket available in the world. That's what we invest in. We invest in Elon Musk. That's insane. Why the fuck would he sit there and allow that joke? I'm sure he didn't write it. I'm sure, I understand how the show works. But why would you let that slide? Why would you be like, yeah, I'll do this joke on air? I'd be like, no, this joke sucks. Fuck you. Like, I'd rather not talk about this than do this. Because this is trash. This is okay. This is priming your fucking brain to be okay with everything that's about to go down. Disgusting behavior from a guy we're supposed to be like fawning over all the time. And I like Jon Stewart. I watched his show. I like what whatever. It's tough love, baby, you piece of shit. Why would you say that? Absolutely, it's fucking ghoulish. It's ghoulish. We need to get the fuck out of every country we have a base in right now. Why do we have all these bases in Germany? Why are we doing airstrikes in Sudan? Why are we in Africa in the fucking first place? Why are we supporting a coup attempt in Bolivia to oust somebody who is democratically elected? When we fuck with our own elections, you're going to say, say the UN should have came in the Iowa primary this year when the DNC came in to fuck with the votes and try to mess with Bernie Sanders' win. The UN should have stepped in and said, this is unacceptable. We are taking full control of this. Like, we do that to every other country. The UN will help regime change occur in every other country where there's fucked up election results. Like, but not America. America, it's totally okay. Insane, okay? We are better than this, I think. I like to hope we're better than this. But maybe we're not. Maybe we're not. Because you know what? Nothing's changing. You got a full Democratic majority right now. You got everybody. You got a whole bunch of fucking Democrats elected right now in the majority, and nothing's happening. So we're going to move on from the Iraq war. But this is not the last we're going to talk about it because it's still going on. It's still happening. We still have troops there and nothing's changing.